Hello, everyone. Hello. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for joining us today. So my name is Krzysztof, and today I'll be leading today's webinar together with my colleagues, Jakub and Katarzyna. So hello once again, sales leaders, and hello, my colleagues. So maybe before we start, maybe just a few words about ourselves. I'm Krzysztof, and I'll be responsible for, as I mentioned, leading today's webinar. And I'm at Cloudity responsible for being account executive, being a salesperson. So yeah, maybe just a few words about you, Kuba and Kasia. Kasia, let's start with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Krzysztof, for organizing this webinar. Labas rytas, laba diena, for my fellow colleagues from Lithuania. So my name is Katarzyna. I'm looking after Baltics at Salesforce. I'm with Salesforce almost 4 years. Very happy to be here, as I see myself as a person who is bringing Salesforce flag to Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, and our 3 countries' flags to Salesforce as well, to make sure that we are seen. And I will be talking about Salesforce as a company a little bit, but the goal is, of course, Krzysztof and Jakub. I think Jakub will be the star.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Kuba,
Thank you guys. First of all, hello everyone. As Kasia and Krzysztof said, we're going to go through the webinar today when we are going to talk not only about how Salesforce can enhance your business, but we are also going to show the demo. And we have prepared some sort of solution for you to look at when we are going to go through particular stages of the sales process and then discuss it as well with you, how Salesforce could actually be used in your companies. So this is the goal of today's meeting, and I think Krzysztof is going to lead it right now.
Yes, definitely. Thank you guys for the introduction. So maybe just one comment on my side. So definitely we are looking after, first of all, helping you in understanding how Salesforce can help you. And secondly, just to let you know that we are here in the Baltics region, and together with Cloudity and Kasia as a Salesforce representative, we are waiting for new challenges in that region to make sales management working better, maybe with your company as well. So basically, maybe let's move on with the short agenda. So you've seen hopefully a short story about Cloudity. So it's behind us, but the first part will be about Salesforce as a Salesforce short story about what Salesforce really, because maybe everyone knows it. After all, just something like introduction before the key goal of our meeting, that is Salesforce demo. I would tell you maybe a short story about challenges, how that our partners face with, and customer success metrics of Salesforce clients that are using Salesforce and they're happy with. And and demo session, that's the most important part to show you the value of the solution and what we prepared. And and the last part is about your question. Basically, in terms of the let's say formal issues, if you have any question, just do not hesitate to ask. But we will focus on that and on responding to your questions at the very end of the today's meeting. So moving on, Kasia, are you ready for your part? To tell
I will be saying you next slide, please.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's do this way. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So cool. Yes, I introduced myself already, but I think that actually Salesforce started to be active in Baltic countries once I joined. Not to put the crown on my head, but actually there was never a dedicated representative for Baltic countries before. So with me it started, and actually we are active in the region for the last approximately 4 years. And now the team has grown already. There is more people who are looking after Baltic countries. I will tell you a little bit more as well. How do we stand in the region? Who are we working with, and so on afterwards. So next slide, please. Greetings from our lawyers. This is a slide we usually have to show. So basically it says that all the decisions you want to make or planning to make, you have to base on products and information commercially available. That's it. Next slide. Yes, and I would like to actually thank you for joining us today. We understand many businesses have been going through challenging times. So it's really great to see you all here. And we value the time you want to spend with us. And of course, we understand that everyone is working online already. We are sometimes sick of webinars, if I might say, but we are trying to make this one as beneficial as possible. Next slide, please, Chris. And the way we work and live have changed actually dramatically over the last year. And Zooms are the new conference rooms, kitchens are the new call centers. We all see the cats and the dogs and the kids of people we are talking to. And we are all in all digital world now, work from anywhere world, as we call it. And overnight, we reimagined how we collaborate with our teams and how we connect with our customers and our communities. We've had to roll out new business models, like by we, I mean all of us, manage employees differently and so much more. And we are all moving forward together. And through all of this, two things have become clear. First, trailblazers, so the companies and the people who are driving the change are leading the way and working through challenges, searching for ways to make a difference and committing to helping others. And secondly, this all digital work from anywhere world will stay, continuing far beyond the pandemic. There are companies who are already announcing, work from other countries for months and so on. Some companies, Salesforce is one of them, told already that we are not going back to the offices if we don't want to. So in fact, nearly 69% of people believe that the pandemic will permanently change the way they work. And with it, it means that all of those people, they need tools to help them work from anywhere, from kitchen. Next slide, please. And trailblazers are lifelong learners, and there are people who lead the values, give back to the community, innovate with Salesforce, and help build a better world, as Americans like to say. We have plenty of customers, plenty of people in our communities, but here I would like to stop a little bit and to share with you all what is our community here in Baltic countries. And it is not a surprise that Salesforce was known, almost, I think, known as a B2B sales automation tool only in the region approximately 5 years ago. But even if it was mainly it was as well known as a tool for big companies, for big corporations only. And today we see that the understanding is very different because Salesforce can do much more, and it's B2B and B2C, and it's marketing automation and it's e-commerce. Today, of course, we'll be focusing on the sales automation, the core of it, but the Salesforce can do much, much more. And today we're proud saying that we work with the most successful companies in Lithuania, and Lithuania is definitely leading the way. Estonia and Latvia are following it, and customers like Atfrom, Tesonet, Pigu, Kesko Senukai, Light Conversion, Class Trucks, which is part of Girteka, Bite, DPD, all of them, they are happy to share their experience with us. From B2C marketing automation to analytics, Tableau, which is part of our family as well, from contact center to partners management, if, for example, someone is selling through channel. All of those different use cases are here in our countries, in our home countries. And a couple of weeks ago, actually, we had yearly planning for Central Europe. From Central Europe in our world, it's from Baltics to Adriatics. And you know what? We stand very high. Poland goes first, of course, territory-wise and population-wise. Then Czech and Slovakia go second, and then our region is third. So thank you all. Next slide, please. So, I was saying about how successful we are, but actually that success wouldn't be possible, our success wouldn't be possible without our customers. So when I joined Salesforce 4 years ago, we were talking where we want to be in 5 years, and in 4 years time we are already there. And due to our business model, this success is possible only with our customers, and we have over 150,000 of them. But what we are particularly proud of is that we are also a leader in innovation, a leader in philanthropy, and a leader in culture. We are #1 in people's top 50 companies that care. Usually we win first, second, or third place in the world's best workplaces rating. So for me as an employee, it's also great to be part of Salesforce family. And we continue to grow as community, as a company as well. And this growth has helped us to be #1 CRM provider for 7 years in a row, according to IDC. Next slide, please. So this slide shows, I wanted to say how great we are. But actually, yeah, among the top 5 vendors shown here, Salesforce is ranked #1. And Salesforce grew its overall market share position. I wanted to outline it that it's only in CRM. I know that Microsoft is a great company with plenty of products, but we are talking about CRM only. So Salesforce grew its overall market share position and increased the revenue more than any of the customer relationship management vendors. Next slide, please. What is the CRM? How do we do it? How do we see it? What is it about? So let's start with this. It is crucial to have one view of the customer for all of you. And when a salesperson knows what is going on in the marketing department, in service department, in commerce department, it doesn't matter if we are talking about B2B or B2C customers, he can base his decision much quicker, and they are intelligent. And what I usually want to say to our customers, you have to build processes not to make sure that it's easier for you to sell. You have to build the processes to have the customer to process around your customers to make sure that it's easier for them to buy from you and to talk to you. So basically, one profile, one view. And today we will be focusing on Sales Cloud, so the very top one, sales automation, B2B. But quickly, what other clouds are doing. So Service Cloud is customer support. Marketing is marketing automation from B2C to B2B as well, with all engagement, different studios, mobile, social, and so on. Commerce Cloud, so eShop basically for both B2B and B2C customers. Analytics, we welcomed Tableau to our company a year ago, I think. I don't remember already. The recent acquisition was Slack. So we owe Slack and we are using it now, and we are very happy about it. But there are other tools as well, like employee engagement, partner collaboration, the self-service, the communities, the integration. So there is much more than that. And we are happy to talk to every one of you and discuss what is needed afterwards. And I think the last slide from me will be, so in numbers, how the 24 hours in the life of Salesforce look like: billions of transactions, millions of conversations, predictions, commerce views. It's a very powerful platform, but it's not only for enterprise customers, as I mentioned before, because around 40% of our customers, there are ESMB and SMB companies. So even, 2 people business, they can have Salesforce, but they have very tiny bit of it, and we can accommodate that. And of course, biggest banks, they are using Salesforce as well. So it's trustful. You can rely your data to be in the cloud, to be with Salesforce. I know that this is highly important topic, especially the ones who are here from Lithuania. The recent case with CTB showed us how sensitive we are if we are talking about our data. So you can trust Salesforce, and you can always check the current status on trust.salesforce.com. That's it from me. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Kasia. Any questions? Right, that's a good question at this point. I think that we can move on. We don't see open questions for sure. We'll get back to you when we'd like to ask something about Salesforce. Okay, so maybe let's move on. Thank you for that short story about Salesforce. We know what is the Salesforce, so yeah, we have one goal achieved. But maybe the question is why you are here. I suppose that there are some sales managers that are facing new challenges because of COVID, or the same challenges in terms of being sales leader, always be close to numbers, KPIs, targets. But what I would like to tell you before we start with checking about how to address these challenges in sales management, I would like to explain like let's say four challenges that I'm observing usually with my clients. It's let's say most popular ones. So of course, always important is to be able to sell something, but how we can do it. So of course, important is to communicate product value to companies, to our clients. But how? Of course, important is to get the best information about our clients. So to be able to do that, to be able to prepare like unique selling points, unique selling proposition, or added value to our customers, for sure we have to be aware of their needs. Solution is required in here. Definitely the second part would be like productivity. It's always annoying to have to do some manual work, like putting information into CRM, or just to send emails by themselves, don't see everything about clients. For sure, the very important part, what we're showing you today, is to get it done as smooth as possible, right? So the productivity is very important. Of course, it's crucial to put sometimes information to CRM, but it's important to get it done in an intelligent way, not only just putting information, but be able to use this information and to be able to automate as much as possible, right? And the first part, what we observe right now, is like a lack of visibility of the sales data. Data is like a new crude oil, so everyone knows that it's very important. Data science is a very important part of many companies. So, but how about sales leaders? Sales leaders should see the information about their clients, and using that information, be able to make strategic account management decision, right? And the last part is like having optimized sales process, but how we can have optimized sales process without any solution. Maybe it's possible, but for sure, Salesforce solution, and for sure, being a master of sales, it's something like what I call to be able to have, first of all, 360-degree view on cloud compliance that it's required to be able to face with these challenges. So this is the philosophy behind Salesforce. This is the philosophy what Kasia told about. And the question is if I'm right. If no, so of course it's always easy to tell you about it. But what I would like to tell you right now is how partners of Salesforce using Salesforce is doing. It seems that they are doing very well, and this is the information about how they are increasing deal size, how they increase win rate, how they increase in link conversion, as you see, how they increase in sales productivity, in forecast accuracy. So basically, there are information based on the survey. So responses are of course coming from Salesforce active users. Well, and it seems that I would say that this numbers looks very promising. So maybe this is the good part. If Kasia, are you agree with this number? So you observe it with your customers, or is it like only the global survey?
No, of course. Usually these are like, first of all, I wanted to talk about, like, usually these are the metrics customers measure. They want to see ROI from these metrics when they're implementing, doesn't matter if it's Salesforce, but CRM, when they're implementing CRM. And, like we are talking to our customers, we are gathering that data. We are talking to after the implementation, during the implementation, and we monitor those changes. So we see definitely that there is increase in forecast accuracy and so on. But the most important, I think, I had recently a conversation with one of the companies in Lithuania. If you are working on Excel, you are not able to measure the starting point. So the possibility to measure at all, to have that visibility, is the biggest ROI possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for that. Definitely agree. Okay, cool. So maybe let's move on with other customer success metrics. Okay, the next part is about gross margin. So I suppose that it will be like decreasing operational costs in terms of sales operations. So it makes you possible to have growth and margin, but as well we are able to when we have a solution that is well, like a master data of customers. So it's we are able to have many activities like cross-sell, upsell doing very well. And the next part is like having that solution. Customers and partners said that they are able to execute more strategy, and for sure that's true. So based on my experience, when I'm doing campaign, like for example this one, like webinar, I'm able to fully coordinate it using Salesforce. So that's very important one. As I mentioned, very important are data. So as you see, there are some numbers. So increasing close rates, increasing user productivity. We mean about people using tools to analyze sales, basically, and analyze information, data discovery, and just faster delivery of business driving analytics. So I think that is the most important one. It's about 44% higher using Salesforce. And then the last part is about the change management. How about the whole digital transformation with Salesforce? So it seems that well, it's not like sometimes it's always it's questions about what's the difference between Salesforce and ERP implementation. So I would say that it's easier and faster. Of course, it depends on the complexity of your processes internally. But as you see, based on responses from customers, it's like faster collaboration, faster decision making, time to complete implementation, faster response time, and well, overall faster resolution time. So that's very, very important. Yeah, and the last part is about the ROI, overall ROI. So 19 months. To be honest, I've seen like a shorter period of time that we see the ROI that is it's not only ROI from sales, but definitely from maybe productivity metrics or from faster acquisition of customers. So yeah, but 87% seen positive ROI. So that's the most important message here. And communication is always important because sometimes there are like processes in sales that requires many people involved, like not only the sales one, not only the one sales leader, but for example, project managers or I don't know, engineers, sometimes depending on the business model. So it's always important to have like one source of truth, and as you see, it helps you to have increasing teamwork, collaboration, and remote employee productivity too, because using Salesforce, we can work directly from the beach using our smartphone or computer, but it's always important to have that solution. So basically that's it. Maybe before I would like to ask you about your questions, maybe Kasia would like to add something, or do you agree with what I mentioned here as a sales leader from Salesforce directly? Kasia, what do you think?
No, I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking, and I just
thinking
that yeah, we were talking about the metrics from sales perspective, but you know, coming back to customer 360 for salespeople, like for me as a salesperson, it is also very important to see are there any open disputes, any cases, billing information on the like one page of the customer, what marketing information was sent. So once you have everything connected, you are able to see the one view of the customer, and it's very helpful. It saves enormous amount of time. Perfect.
Definitely agree. Okay. Thank you for that, and thank you for that part. If you have any questions, just ask. I see there's good questions in my cabin here. Okay, so let's move to the next part. So we've been talking about this 360 degree and how it should look like, and what are the metrics using Salesforce. But well, the question, Kuba, is if it really works like we've been talking right now. What you think, and what's your demo sample company think about it?
Yeah, that's right. First of all, thanks, Kasia and Krzysztof, for leading the first part. What we have in here when it comes to demo, we have prepared for you some sample company, right? We have a company called Cirrus, and they are offering products that are related to renewable energy sources. And what we're going to do today is that we're going to show you the sales process from their perspective, but split into 3 different people, right? So we have, first of all, John, who is the customer of Cirrus, right? And he is actually interested in some of the products. We have Clara, which is the sales rep, and she works with the customer. She actually wants to close all the deals that are possible to also be the best salesperson in the company, but also she wants to do it effectively and as easy as it can get. And we also have Christian, who is actually the sales director and who's going to supervise all the data that is going to be that is in Salesforce related to sales, but also other areas of the company. So this is just for the short introduction. And right now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how exactly the sales process looks like in Salesforce. So let me share it. All right, guys, can you see that?
Yeah, perfect view of numbers, and you closed so much deals, I see, Kuba.
Yeah, that's correct. So this is actually the first thing a person will see while they're being logged into Salesforce. So this is the home page where we see the most important information for the sales representative that we can actually get. So on the first tab, we actually have the information regarding to our sales. So me as a sales representative, I want to see the information about my closed business. So how many deals I closed, but also how many deals I have in my pipeline, right? Obviously, there are plenty of possibilities in Salesforce to actually display the information. That's why we have different types of graphs in here. And we'll be talking about the reports later on. But for the sales rep, this view is actually the first thing that he'll see. And this is the most important information for him at the moment. So the general overview of his business. But what is important as well is that on the right-hand side, we have some other components that allow us to see the things that we need to do today, right? So once I'm logged in, I already see the general overview of my situation plus the tasks I need to do. So as you can see for today, I have 2 tasks: answering the email from Ohana company and following up with ScanSnap. And as you can see, plenty of elements in the system are linked with each other. So even if I move over here, I'll already see some of the information regarding the company, right? As you can see, I can see some of the details.
So this is this, sorry for interrupting, Kuba, but this is this 360-degree view, what we've been talking about, right?
Yes, this is the part of it, but we'll just move forward as well to showing like the full 360 view, right?
Okay.
Besides the task, we have the events. And as you can see in the events, we have one listed for today, which is the Sales Cloud webinar that we are participating in right now. And this is actually what I'll be doing today, right? So my backlog for today. Additionally, what I have as well is that I have this component that shows me the internal communication between the team regarding the specific topics, right? So this is the feature called Chatter. We're going to talk about that later on as well. But this is a tool like, for example, Slack. Slack is also part of the Salesforce family right now, but if you know it, this is like a way for us to communicate internally regarding some specific topics in the company. And the last part, the recent records, the component that would allow us to see our recent work, right? So which particular parts of the system I have accessed before. And what is important here as well is that this view does not have to be the same for everyone, right? People working on different positions in the company can have a totally different view, different components to be here. And this is super easy for us to adjust it by just moving the tiles. And Salesforce is configured in a way that it's super easy for us to change it so that, for example, the tasks, they don't have to be at the top. They can be somewhere at the bottom if you want, right? It's up to us how we would like to manipulate the components and what should be the final layout. But going back to the main process, since we are the sales rep and we have logged into the system, we have these tasks to be taken care of. So first of all, I need to take a look at the task I have in here, and I know it is related to Kirsty. And there are two options that I can use right now. I can either go straight to the task or straight to the record of Kirsten through clicking off this record, or I can just use one of the tabs that are available at the top. And this is the main rule of the navigation in Salesforce, right? So we have different objects which are storing the data regarding our particular activities. So these tabs tell us that, for example, in leads, we are going to have a list of potential customers that we would like to cooperate with, right? On the accounts, we are going to have the customers that we have business already. And the same can apply to any other object visible at the top. But for now,
yeah, Kuba, so it seems like a very clear visibility, and so we are able to increase sales productivity because you don't have to like looking for information from different systems, but you have everything on tabs, and you are able to go straight to the for example, from dashboard perspective, to the information about the client or something, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
it looks cool.
Yeah, we'll be focusing on that as well later on, but this is the main idea, right? So this navigation is pretty easy to use, and we have access to everything, not only the data we store internally, but also the data we can get externally from the third-party systems, right? Yeah. But let's start with the leads. So I can just click on the tab, and right now I get just the list of the leads we have in the company. And already you can see there's plenty of information displayed regarding these leads that we have contact to. So for example, for John, I can already see he is a CFO. He works for Doster Construction Company. I can see his phone number and also the lead quality, which tells me that, okay, he is the person we maybe should contact in the first place, right? Since he is the one that may have tons of interest in our product. And also some of the sources, so we can differentiate between different sources of leads, either if they're coming from the website, where we have a form for the customers who are interested, or maybe through social media, or maybe through cold calling or trade conferences, right? So it's up to us how we would like to divide our lead sources. But for now, what would be important for us is maybe to limit this list a little bit, right? Because for now, we're seeing the full list of leads. And what I would like to do maybe is I would like to change the records that I'm displaying. And there is a possibility for us to make some actions here that allow us to display only something that is interesting for us. And if I would like to see, for example, only leads that came from the social media, I could just use the filters and tell the system that, well, display all the leads we have, which have the source of the social media, right? So I'm just choosing these rules here, telling me that I would like to change the list a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but the list updated a little bit for me, but this is not the end, right? I don't have to go just with the lead source of social media. I could add any more filters that I would like, right? That would limit the number of leads that I would like to display. And it is possible, of course, for people not to use filters every time, right? It wastes our time. And since we want to increase the productivity, we can have some lists predefined already. So say that I want to see all the leads that need follow-up quickly. I can just click here, right? And choose the list that tells me, okay, these leads actually need the follow-up. And as you can see, there is only 5 people here. And in this list of 5 people, we have Kirsten, right? Remember, that was the person that we wanted to contact in the first place. So let's just open her record straight from this list and see what we can actually do. So this is the main record of Kirsten Volum, right? She's the account executive for the company ScanSnap. And we already see at the top some of the most important information. So on the first glance, I can see the contact information. I can see the source. I can see the days since last activity. And knowing that this is actually a new lead for us, we don't really have the information here as well, right? So later on, if I'm going to forget about her and I'm not going to do anything, Salesforce can actually remind me that, hey, you did not do something for this specific lead. You did not follow up with someone. And we can send the information to the sales rep, even in the form of the task or the email, however we would like, or in the form of notification that someone needs to do something about this, right? There has to be an action taken to proceed with our sales process. And as you can see,
Kuba, one question from my side. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so how about automation? Are we able to automate this follow up or something like that? Because you know, I told that we are able to increase sales productivity.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So the idea here is that based on the information in the system we have, we can schedule some sort of rules for automating that. Meaning that if, for example, I would change the status of this lead from follow-up needed to qualify, I could trigger the action that would, for example, send the email to the person of my choice, right? So if, for example, my sales manager would have to be informed that, look, this lead is actually someone that is already willing to do business with us, then I can send him the email automatically without me, going straight to the tab, sending an email. It can be all automated. At the same time, it does not have to be an email. We can update any other topics that are somehow related. So it is possible for us also to generate additional tasks, for example. It is all based on the business model that you have and the needs that you actually have for the automation, right? So for us, managing the lead here would be best if we do the follow-up manually right now. But of course, as Krzysiek said, it can all be done automatically. And we are going to show you some of the automations later on as well, right? So don't worry. But since we have entered the lead section right now, the most important thing is to understand what the lead is, right? So we divide the system into three most important parts. So we have leads, which are the potential customers that we gather the information about. And as I was saying, they can either be people from the trade conference, they can be people who used our web form, or any other lead list that we obtained. And once we have this list, what would be possible for us is to follow up with them, meaning that contact them, ask them if they're interested, and if they are, then we can proceed with our sales process. So this is the so-called initial stage of the sales process for us, where we just gather information about people. And once we have that, we can just move through these stages. And for now, we have really simply a simplified process where we just have a new status of the lead. We have this follow-up, and we have qualified and converted. And for me as a sales rep, what would be the most interesting? Well, since I want to close as much deals as I can, then I would like to have the leads converted. And let's assume that I have contacted Christian already. So what I have to do is that I have to log a call saying that, okay, I have contacted Christian, I called her, I had a follow-up with her, and well, the outcome is that she would like to work with us. So I'm just going here to this tab called activity. I have the possibility to log a call quickly and add the comment that Christine agreed to talk more about our products. As you can see, automatically the system knows that I'm adding this to Christine, but it could also be possible to link it with the account. And we have not talked about that yet, but the possibility in Salesforce to link the records with different topics is that you would like to have the full 360 view, as we were saying before, right? And in order to do that, we would like to link one information with all of the places where it should be linked. So it is possible for me to look for the account. I could just find other account that I know this could be somehow linked with, and maybe that could be, for example, our partner company that could deliver the materials. It's up to us how we would like to think about that. But once I do it, oh, sorry. Yeah, once I do it, I can just save the call in here. And as you can see, in April 2021, I have logged the call with Kirsten, and it was today, right? So right now, if I log the call, what I can do is that, knowing that she agreed to cooperate in the future, and we would like to have maybe prepare a quote for her and ask her what are her interests in our products, I can choose the status converted. And what is important here is that right now we have moved to this process when we can automatically create 3 different records coming from this lead. So first of all, we create the account. So that will be the center of our attention, since the ScanSnap, the company that Kirsten represents, is going to gather all the information about the related business opportunities or support cases or quotes we have prepared. And we can add the information in here. Obviously, if there is something wrong with the account name, or someone put the wrong information, still we have plenty of time to make the change, so it doesn't have to be ScanSnap Inc. It can be something totally different, right? Or just ScanSnap. Or if there is a possibility that we got a lead from the company that already exists, meaning that we already do some sort of work with ScanSnap, we could just choose the existing one, right? So once again, I can try to look for the other accounts that are already in the system, knowing that this is a person from them. And then it would not create any duplicates in the system, since we want to care about the data quality we have and not creating additional records. So for now, let's just stay with the option to create a new one. And the same can apply to contact and opportunity. So for the contact, we're just saying that we would like to keep also the contact information to Christian specifically, because on the account level, we have the information about the company, but as the contact that we would like to have with them, still we need the contact information for Kirsten. And once we are going to have these 2 records, they are going to be linked together, right? So I'm going to show that in a second once we complete the conversion. And the last thing is actually the opportunity. And the opportunity is actually the next part of the sales process, meaning that knowing that Kirsten actually agreed to have business with us, we create a new record, which is a specific sales process that your company actually offers. So in our case, we can have the opportunity name, our business opportunity name, called New Business April 2021, right? So I'm just indicating in the name that this is a new business from the company ScanSnap. This is April 2021. Obviously, it doesn't have to be done right now. It can be automated as well. It all depends how you would like to do it. And right now, the only thing that was left for me is to click the convert button. So once I click it, the system will wait a little bit because it has to create 3 different records. And as you can see, we got the success picture telling us that the lead has been converted. And we have these 3 different records in here. So right now I have 2 different options. I can either go back to leads if I work only on leads and I want to convert most of them, or I can go straight to the account contact or the opportunity. So it is possible for me to go straight to the account of ScanSnap just from here, right? As we were saying, everything in the system is somehow intertwined. So I could just click in here and I'll be redirected to the account. And right now, the thing is that we have the ScanSnap account, right? We have some information already predefined. And as you can see, they were took automatically from the lead. Plus, we also have the history of communication. So we do not lose any data while converting the account, but we are putting them automatically in this specific record in here. But I think for now my work is done, right? As Lynn, I think everything has happened that allowed me to convert the lead, to create the business opportunity. But right now, someone else is going to take over. I need to go back to the tasks I had before, right? As you remember on the home page, I had also the information to answer the email from Ohana. And I think this is something that I should do right now. So I'm going to click on the Ohana record and I'm going to be redirected here. And as you can see, this is already a customer that has cooperated with us in the past, right? So we also have some of the information about them listed here. So the type of the account, the industry they work for, the number of employees, and also the status saying that this is actually the active account and we are cooperating with them already. As you may remember, ScanSnap was not active yet. Well, the thing is that it could not be active since we did not have a business with them yet. We did not close any deal together and we have not sent any products. But for Ohana, as I was saying, the thing is different. So right now here for them, you can actually see the 360 view that we were talking about during the presentation. So you already know the activity tab on the right. So as you can see in here, we have plenty of information. And the difference is that we don't only have to log calls, as I was showing you on the lead record, but we can also do any other uh, activities that we may think of. So one of the possibilities is actually creating a task. And creating a task, I think this is pretty straightforward. So we just put the subject of the task. I can either choose from some of the predefined values, right? I can choose the due date of the task. It can be either today or tomorrow. And as you can see, this is already related to Ohana record and assigned to me.
So maybe just one comment on my side, so
Yep,
if I can, Kuba. Yeah, so when you are using Salesforce, it's not required to have like another Todoist software because additionally we have the same view in smartphone, right? Am I right, Kuba?
That's correct, yeah. So this is also all possible in the mobile app. Salesforce has a dedicated mobile app that you can actually access from anywhere. You can download it from the Google Store or the iStore, Apple Store. And the thing is that once you use the app on the phone, there is a possibility for you also to use, for example, phone numbers, right? So if you would like to call someone, well, just press the number that is visible in here and just call them, and the system can automatically ask you to log a call after finishing the talk, right? So this is one of the features of the mobile app. But as Krzysiek said, we have access to all the data stored in the system. We have access to all the tasks, all the events. This is possible for us to log them in the mobile app as well, right? So I'm going to show you later on a little bit how the mobile app can work as the example, but as you indicated, Krzysiek, this is correct, right? So this is all included in the mobile app as well. Right, so coming back, for us to create a task, this is pretty straightforward, right? So I can just add a new task with some information, and obviously a new task is going to be created and the date is going to be set for today. The other thing is just the event, and the events are going to be used mostly for trade shows, the conferences like webinars, where we actually put also like the subject that could be predefined, like the meeting. We can have some start date and the end date of the meeting, or even choose the all-day event for us and just save it. And they would also be linked on the activity here. But the last thing actually that would be useful for the sales rep is the possibility to send emails straight from Salesforce, meaning that we can use this last step to actually send the information to someone that could be interesting for us, right? So I, as a sales rep, can either choose the person that I would like to send email to, or I can use some predefined settings to do that, right? So for example, for the lead, I would knew that, well, I would like to send the email to Kirstin, right? right now we can send the email to me. As you can see, I'm also in the system as a lead. I'm going to tell you why later on. And I can just type in some information about the email and send it to the customer, right? So it's up to me how I would like to do it. Obviously, I don't have to do it every time manually, as we were saying. We can somehow automate that, or we can use the email templates, right? So I can choose some of the templates that are stored in the system. Oh, sorry. Once again. Yeah, and as you can see, this is automatically put in here with the information already and the message already prepared, right? So if I want to, I can just send it. And as you can see, there are some errors in here. Well, what could be the error message? Well, it seems like I cannot send the email to a lead when I have some sort of value in here. And this is the part of the validations rules in the system. So I would not like some actions to happen because I would like rather to go with the specific path that our company follow, right? So right now, what I would like to do maybe is to just follow up with the advice that I got from the system and say, okay, maybe I'm going to send it once again, right? So as you can see, I changed my email message based on the information I got from the system, and I could proceed with this, right? So this is just for the users to know about the actions that they should not do until they do something that is needed by us. And obviously, all the emails that we have in our system are going to be stored here as well, right? So if we have the email about checking our new line of solar panels, like as a series, we actually have solar panels as well. And as you can see, we can actually take a look in here. So who sent the email and also to whom it was delivered. And as you can see, also we have all the information linked together in the system as the part of the 360 view. So this is just the activity path. The other stuff is actually the chatter. And chatter was mentioned already when we were talking about the homepage. But the thing is that on the chatter, we are getting some information that is additional for us to keep track of the changes on the account level and to keep track of the communication. So in here, you actually can see the track of all the things that I have done in the last 3 minutes, right? So I have created the meeting, I have created a task 3 minutes ago, but this is not all because as I was saying, this is possible for us to use the chatter as the tool to communicate internally. And it works in a way that you can just mention people and send them the information, and everyone who has access to the specific Ohana inked record in the system could have actually answered it, right? So what I could do, I could just share an update, as it is called in the Salesforce. So the same way as on Instagram or on Facebook, I can just add someone, let it be the marketing director, and we can ask her a question. Do we have marketing promos prepared for Ohana, right? So right now, if I share it, I'm going to publish it on the chatter, right? And once it's published in the chatter, you're going to see this update here. And Sue Marketing, as she's called, is going to get the notification that I sent her the update regarding Ohana, and I have some sort of question. And people can either use likes or comment it if they want this message to be somehow noticed by everyone who should notice it, right? So as a Sue Marketing, I can just go back and write the comment once again, telling that, oh, hello, we have not prepared them yet, right? So let's just imagine that was Sue Marketing commenting on this. And this is just like the communication between people, and this is mostly used for the internal communication, but sometimes it is also possible to use it for the external one, right? Sometimes our customers could be using chatters. There are some separate licenses for it for like a quicker communication, right? So this is more of informal form where we actually exchange our views on the topic. But that was just about the activities in the chatter. But we are still not done with the account itself because the 360 view is still not resolved. So on the left-hand side, we need to come back to these smaller tabs that we have in here. And as we were saying, this is all in one record. Like we don't have to go anywhere from here. We can just view every information possible from here. I just have to switch the tabs. So right now, if I want to go to contacts, I can actually see all of the related contacts with this specific company, right? Showing me that there are 6 people which we have contact to, and they have different roles in the company. So we have contact to VP of sales, we have business analysts, the CEOs, and it depends on the situation who we should call, but it's up to us who should be contacted in the specific scenario that we may think of, right? Let's imagine that maybe I would like to contact Lauren. Then the only thing I would have to do is just go to her contact record and I'll be redirected to see more information about her. And as you can see in here, we know that she's part of Ohana. She works in the IT department and she reports to Bob Hodges. And Bob Hodges is actually the president and CEO. So I think this makes sense. We can have some more information about the preferred contact channel and the mailing address for her. And of course, the activity in here, right? So all the activities that are somehow related with Lauren are also going to be visible in here. Let's go back to Ohana, right? Let's go back in here. We know about the contacts already, but we also have the information about sales. And for me as a salesperson, I think this is going to be super important to have one view of all the related topics, not only regarding to the ones that are in progress, but also the ones that are already on the stage of quoting or even having an order. So as you can see here, we have the list of the opportunities with some of the details already. So this is for me to take a look quickly of what is going on with Ohana, how many deals we have in progress with them, as well with the statuses, right? So it is possible for me to see that, okay, we have the discovery stage right now saying that we are just looking at the business we are going to have together, but there are also the types of business that we have closed one in the past, right? So this was actually the add-on business we had, and we closed that in August last year. And the similar situations is with quoting, right? So the quotes are being prepared for Ohana with some information about the amounts, the status as well, and who was responsible for creating the quote. This is all accessible from here. And the same can apply to any other object that you may think of. For us, what will be important as a Cirrus company, we need to have access to orders and the invoices. So as the orders, we actually see how we could split the quote that we have offered to the customer and which they had accepted. And we're going to have a list of those. As you can see, we are displaying 4, but it's not a problem for us to display all of those. I'll just click view all, and I'll be redirected to all the orders that we have with the Ohana. And the idea is that orders are usually used in the system as some part of information that is coming back from external system, right? So if we're using any sort of system, usually for the customers to order some products, it can either be like our own website where people choose products and then the information gets transferred to Salesforce. And then we'll just display it with some additional data in here. But I'm going to show orders later on as well. And yeah, for the invoices, the same situation. We can have some information listed here already and use also Salesforce not only as a tool for creating business opportunities and managing leads, but also for managing the invoices if there is a need for this. So right now, I know that I have to deal with Ohana. I have already sent the emails, registered tasks, events, and I would like to go back to the business opportunity we have with Ohana, which is actually listed here, and it is called Ohana Add-on Business April 2021. So I can just go in here, and I'll be ported to the other section of the system where we have the information about this specific sales process. And as you can see, we are in the discovery phase, right? So we are just trying to figure out what happens. And as similar as we have on the account, we have some sort of important information on the top already. So when do we plan to close it? As you can see, we indicated that we would like to close it today. The amount of business opportunity, the probability that it can actually be closed won, and the owner of it, right? So from these information, we have already understood what is the main idea behind this record and the system and how we would like to proceed with this. So as we are in the discovery phase, we should already have some details. And as you can see at the bottom, we have the information about the opportunity itself, telling us that this is actually a huge strategic opportunity. And the next step of it should be identifying the key decision makers and stakeholders. What is important that this probability I have mentioned is actually the part of our forecast for the future. So I as a sales rep can actually see that there is a probability of 35% that I'm going to close the deal, and it increases every time we change the status, right? So let's imagine that I would like to focus on this path in here that tells me what is the actual status of the opportunity. And if I were to change it to proposal quote, before I mark it as a current stage, well, what can you see is that the key fields and the guidance for success, so the crucial things that we need to fill out while being on the discovery stage, it can be the competitors or the next steps, and these rules that allow the sales reps to understand the situation better may change a little bit, right? So right now, I'm not interested about the competitors, but I would like to complete the ROI analysis. So if I click in here and mark it as the current stage, as you can see, it was updated successfully, and we move to the proposal quote stage. We have these rules telling us what we should do, how we should follow up with the customer, what should be the best actions. But what is important for me is to proceed with the sales process and send the quote to the customer or update the quote that we have already sent. So let's go to the tabs that we have. This is also a similar idea as on the account level, that we have different tabs with related records. And we have the contact roles listed under this specific opportunity. And as you may remember, we had 6 contacts under the account of Ohana, right? But right now we have only 3 of those because we're only choosing the people from the company who are actually included in the deal, right? So not everyone is going to be needed to proceed with the specific deal. And as you can see, the primary contact for it would be the Lauren Bailey, that the record I've been showing you before. But also we have Bob and James who are included, and they need to be informed about the progress as well. But these are the people who are working in Ohana. And for us, it would be good to actually have the opportunity team. And this is also something that Salesforce supports as a native function, is that we can have some sort of default opportunity teams working on similar opportunities. If we imagine that for Ohana, which is a big company, and they have a lot of business with us, we need to have more people than one. We can just have an opportunity team of 3 people, which are helping us in the whole process, right? So as you can see, the person from our company are listed in here, and they should have access to this specific record and the possibility to make the changes. And of course, there is one more thing, the partners relationships. So if we think like we need the help from other companies, or we're cooperating with other companies in this deal, we can actually say that they are our partner, and we can also link them as the related record, right? So in here, Acme Partners is actually the company that cooperates with us for this business opportunity. But as I was saying, the important thing for me was to actually take a look at the quotes we have prepared for the company. And we have 3 quotes that were prepared for them, right? We have some of the older ones, some of the newer ones. The task for me as the sales rep is actually to take a look as the one on the one that was already created before and maybe adjust a little bit before sending it to the customer. So I can just open this specific record, and right now I'm on the status needs review, right? So this is still the preparation phase. I have not sent it to the customer yet, but I would like to do it right now. So I'm on the quote level, and what I can do. First of all, first of all, I review the information that we have in here, right? So I review what I have prepared, what are the totals for the quote, what is the contact name, and this is still Lauren. This was all automatically pre-filled before, right? So I did not have to do anything. I would not have to put in the information manually. If I create a quote, I just get all the information that was based on the opportunity, and I just have to edit the products, right? Because this is the main idea here. And where I can find products? Well, I have this tab called related, and in here, I have the information about the quote line items and the quote PDFs. So for me, the most beneficial thing right now would be to add the products quickly, define their quantity, and maybe add some discounts, and then send it to Ohana, right? So what I could do, I could either edit the products that we have right now or add additional ones. And let's say that, well, maybe they would just require our installation services, right? So I can just add one product for them, click next, and now this product is going to be defined. Well, we can just say this is the quantity of one. We have the list price and the sales price automatically added here based on the information on the product and the discount. So I can just put the 5% discount for them, knowing that, okay, we have cooperated in the past and they could have the 5% off. And what has happened is that we have added one additional quote line item here, and also the subtotal and the grand total for the quote, they have changed automatically, right? So the system adjusted it, and if you remember, the discount was actually 0 before, and now it's 0.12. Still not a huge discount, but we could make it work by editing the information. This is also super easy, right? So I just click edit products, and in here I can just edit any information that I would like. So for example, I can add 20% of the discount on the high capacity battery. I just save it, and once again the details, they get updated, right? As you can see, the discount is a little bit bigger right now, still not a huge one, but well, this is how we do business. And since we actually made changes to the quote itself, the next step for us would be to actually submit the quote to approval. Not all of the quotes need to be submitted for the approvals, right? Only some specific ones that, for example, have a huge grand total or the discount is super big. Then the approval could actually be sent to our manager, who will decide whether the quote is appropriate to send to the customer. And what we could do right now is we could just try submitting it for approval and see what happens. So if I click submit for approval, I can just say, please take a look at the quote prepared for Ohana Business Op, right? So I just put a short comment telling them what the submission is about, and I can just submit that. And as you can see, the quote was submitted for approval, right? And well, what happened is that automatically the system approved the quote based on the information I had in here, right? I already know what are the rules for the approval, but the thing is that if the discount is not bigger than 10%, the system will just automatically approve it, right? So I don't have to send it to the manager because the discount is so low that I can just do it myself. Obviously, if there is a possibility that something needs to be accepted, we have this separate object in the system, approval request, right? I can show you quickly how it looks. And in the approval requests, we actually have some items that need to be approved, right? I can have the list of these items, these are actually the items I am the approver. So if I would like to take a look how it looks, well, the system gives me just the summary, right? So we have the information about the opportunity, we have the information about the discount and the amount. And it's up to me right now as the manager, right, to either approve it, reject it, or reassign it. If I approve it, I say everything is fine. If I want to, I can take a look at the opportunity and just click the link. I'll be redirected, as you remember. I can reject that, so the quote would not be accepted, or I can reassign it. And by reassigning it, I can just choose other user, telling that, saying that, well, maybe I'm not really responsible for this part of business and someone else should take care of it, right? So it's up to me how I deal with it. For now, I get just the status of the approval plus the information about the item, and I can just put the message that I accept it, and just click the button. And as you can see, the status changed and we have just approved it. But for me, what would be important is to go back to my quote, right? We have been working on. And since we know it was approved, what I can do right now is I can present it to the customer, right? But before I actually present it to them and change the status once again, I can also check how the PDF is going to be created, because before sending it to the customer, I can click this button, create PDF, and the system will show me the PDF preview of the quote you're going to send. So this is just the example how it may look. Obviously, this is not the best looking quote in the world, but what is crucial for us to show on this demo is that we can get any information we want from either the quote or the contact, or just get the list of the products that are offered to the customer and put that in the document that could be easily generated inside the system and also saved and emailed just by clicking one button, right? So if I were to click this one, the whole PDF I have generated opened me the email already. The quote is added as the attachment in the PDF. Automatically, I know that I'm going to send it to Lauren Bailey, and I can either put in the information manually, right? So I can do it manually as the sales rep to put some more individual touch, or I can just use the template, right? And once again, I could just put the template in here and send the quote to the customer. So it's up to me how I would like to handle it, right? If I were just to send the message, I could just put something and send it, right? And I also get the information from the company how it's going to work. Well, I don't care that much. I have sent the quote to the customer, and obviously I have it on my activity history tab, right? So as you can see, I can open it, and you send the email with the attachment. If I were to take a look at it, I can just open it once again, and we'll get more information. Who was the sender, what was the attachment, and what is the message related to. Obviously, I have not put any text in here, that's why it's empty. But what is also important regarding the quote, as you remember, we had plenty of quotes before created for this specific business opportunity, right? So if I go back in here, you'll actually see that the amounts that are on the opportunity, which is 62%, this is not actually matching the quote that we have prepared right now and sent to the customer. The thing is that we have the quotes prepared beforehand, and one of them is being synced. And by syncing, we mean that this is the main quote that we are linking with this opportunity. And this is really important to remember, that in order to get the best reporting data, we should always take care of the records that are being used in both cases. So as a person working on the quote, which was sent to the customer, and knowing that this is a new quote that can be accepted, I can just click Start Sync. And I can just click Continue. And now, as you can see, the ground total here is 51,000 euro. If I go back to the opportunity itself, I'm going to see the amount is 44. Why is it 44? Well, The thing is that the probability for us to finish the full business process, full sales process, is actually 75%, right? That's why it's not showing me the full amount, but just this percentage. That could be changed, obviously, if I, for example, go to the negotiation or closed phase, right? So I'm going to show you that in a second, how it will be influenced. But for the quote level, if I go back once again to my quote, what I can do is that after the communication with the customer, if I know that it was accepted, I can just mark the status in here. I have the sync already, so I know that everything went fine. People are happy about that. Ohana agreed to our deal. I can just close the opportunity, right? So for me, I would just close this stage, select this button on the right-hand side, right? And say that we are actually closing this deal as a closed one. Obviously, there is a possibility that we may lost the case, but well, for us, fortunately, it was not the situation here. So we just choose the closed one option and save it. And well, Salesforce offers some sort of corny confetti here, but the thing is that we actually closed our opportunity. We got the information, and on the top you actually can see some start of the project, right? It depends obviously on the company, but from here we can already define what should be the first details regarding the future project that we may have with the company, right? So we are happy to finish the business opportunity. We know that it was closed won, right? We got the information. We had everything prepared on our quote, right? As you can see, our quote number 3 with the total price of 44, it was actually synced well, right? We got the full probability, and now it's going to be the part of our pipeline. Sorry, not the part of our pipeline, but part of our closed business, and it'll be removed from our pipeline. If we have plenty of opportunities to look at, right? Not just one deal. Like we don't have the time to actually spend it on one deal. What we can do as well is that we can just go to the opportunities tab, and we can see the Kanban view. And the Kanban view is something that allows us to see multiple things, maybe simple opportunities with their stages. So we can see what are the qualification opportunities, discovery, and this is as easy as it gets, right? So I get the summary of my opportunities with the amounts, and I can easily change the statuses of all of those on this simple Kanban view. There is a possibility to have different types of the sales processes, obviously, right? So I'm not sticking with only simple opportunity type. I can have channel sales, or I can have like super complex sales processes. It's up to me how I would like to handle it. And for the opportunities, well, if we want to create a new one manually, we can choose from 2 different types. So it's as easy as it gets for me to change it. And obviously, the stages for both processes can be a little bit different, right? So for example, if you see here, we have 5 of those, and for the channel sales, we have only 4. Well, in Cloudity, we could use even like 15 stages for opportunities. So it depends on the customer and what their sales process looks like. But knowing that we have finished working on the opportunity and the quote, we could actually move to a little bit different topic, which are the orders. We have talked about them a little bit before, but if we look at the orders that are stored in our system, we also have some simplified path telling us that either it can be a draft order, which is not real order yet, but the customer just agreed to something, and the activated one, meaning that we would like to send the product to someone. Obviously, it can have some additional numbers, additional amounts regarding the specific orders, some dates, and the numbers that could be used, for example, in the integration with the other third-party systems, right? So for me, on the order level, I can actually see that, well, the product someone ordered was ABC products, and I can see the history, so who actually made changes to the specific record, And this is pretty much similar to all the records in Salesforce, that we can get the full history of the changes made to the specific opportunity, order, account, or lead. And obviously, the orders and the quotes are related to our products. And managing products in Salesforce is pretty straightforward, right? So we can actually have the list of the products with the information about them. So some sort of product codes, SKUs, some descriptions. So just the products in here, they can have multiple attributes if we want to. But once we have products in the system, the important thing for us would be to have them related to the price books. And the price books is actually the place where we manage the prices for specific products, right? So if I were to click on the standard price book, for example, I could actually choose all the related price book entries. And the price book entries telling us that are telling us that these specific products, so for example, battery high capacity, they have in this specific price book the list price of 2,500. But it doesn't have to be the case, right? It is just the standard price book, and the price could be a little bit different for the other ones. So for specific quotes or opportunities or orders, I choose one standard price book or one price book from the list. It may be serious price book. It's up to me, right? I can deactivate them or make them active. So it's up to me how I deal with this. But all of these price books can handle different products with different prices. And usually how we're using it is that we're having different price books for different territories, right? I can say that for Germany, we can have different price book, and we can have different price book for Lithuania, right? So it's up to me how I would like to handle it and how I'd like to match it with our sales process that I have in the company. I know we don't have that much time, so we're going to move further. And I'm going to show you one of the campaigns we have. This is not really related to the sales process, but it may influence the sales process and the business opportunities. And we have the example here of the executive lunch event. And this is pretty much similar to the things that Cloudity did in the past, before COVID, when we had the business breakfasts, inviting people, talking about Salesforce. And in here, in the demo we're presenting right now, we have also some of the information about such a campaign. And we can track, obviously, some information about the start dates, end dates, but the most important thing for us would be to get the information about how many leads and contacts are taking part in this specific campaign. We can either invite people from our leads list, right, which we're not cooperating with, or we can invite some of the current customers. The thing is that it's all going to be included in the reporting. So we're going to get the information about the budgeted cost, the expected revenue, and then based on the responses from the campaigns and the influence it had on our business opportunities, we can get the ROI and the value of the opportunities that were related to this executive lunch event. And as you can see, it was pretty successful, right? Saying that we have created 13 business opportunities from this event, and the value of one opportunities was over 100,000 euros. So the ROI based on the costs was actually huge. And the thing is that on the campaign level, but also on the account, on the opportunity, or on the quote level, we can have the charts embedded already, right? So it's up to me which charts I would like to display. For you, we're showing these two charts, showing you the difference between the contacts and the leads, so people who are the customers already and the new customers, and whether they responded or not. And only one person, or sorry, only 3 people from current customers did not respond to our invitation. For all the other ones, we had some action and we could proceed with the opportunities. And in here, you can also see the revenue for this campaign with some information where we are based on the businesses. So we can have some business opportunities on the discovery stage or some of them on the proposal. We can all see that in the graph in here, which is related only to this executive lunch event, right? So remember that this is just for the specific one. If we would like to go for more general metrics, we would need to go to the reports and dashboards. And this is really something that Salesforce supports as a main thing for you to use the data for supervising all the activities. For the sales rep itself, one of the most important reports could be my pipeline. Obviously, there's plenty of those reports in the system. We can define who should be able to see which information, obviously, and which report. But as a sales rep, I could have the my pipeline report, which can change dynamically, meaning that if I'm the one opening it, it'll just show me my business opportunities. But if, for example, Krzysiek would open it, he would only see his, right? And it's just one report, which is just showing the data dynamic. And as you can see, this is just a simple report with the information about the opportunities. So we have the stage of the opportunity on the left-hand side. We have some data regarding the opportunity itself, the name, and the owner of the opportunity. So who is the leading person in this business process, and the amount. So plenty of information already, with the links to respective records as well. But for us, I think the best way would be to make it a little bit prettier, right? So what I can do is I can just edit this report, and I can add some more information. So maybe if I'm interested not only in the about the amount or any other information that is already on the report, I can add the new column that, for example, would be the next step. And it's pretty easy for me to actually, add it and display it automatically in this sort of preview, right? And it's easy for me as well to make the change where it should be placed, right? As you can see, I just made the change that the next step would be before the amount itself. So I can add the columns easily. But the thing is that I can not only add them easily, but I can also group them easily. So I can, for example, choose the grouping to be type, so that I'm not only grouping the report by the stage, but also by the type of the opportunity that we have. Whether this is a new business or add-on business or the services, it's up to me how I can group it. And once I have grouped it and I get this preview, I think that the good thing to do would be just to add the chart, right? So by default, Salesforce shows me the information that, okay, that could be a good chart for you with the amounts based on the stage, but maybe I would like to edit this a little bit, right? So I can just add the chart properties and choose one of those options. So if I were to show full information about both stage and type, I could go, for example, for the stacked bar. Obviously, not all of the graphs are best for displaying the information, but I think the stacked bar could be good in here to show us how it may look like. So I made the changes, and as you can see, the graph changed a little bit, showing us not only the sum of the amount for the stage, but also the type. So I can easily get the information that, okay, for the stage of qualification and the type new 200,010 euros worth of opportunities. I can add some additional things like the reference lines if I want to, right? So I could add some information with these reference lines, maybe with different colors as well, right? Showing me what would be the threshold. I can just stack it as well. I'm not going to show it right now, but there are plenty of options to choose from. And what I'm usually using is that I can use the conditional formatting as well. And for the conditional formatting, what we do is that we put the information about, for example, the amounts of the opportunity with different colors. So it would be easier for someone to actually see the information on the records. And well, if I were to run the report right now and save it, it would look totally different from the ones we have seen in the beginning, right? We have much more data. We have this additional colors telling us what are the subtotals for specific options. There are some of the green ones, some of the red ones. The total is actually green, which is good, but it's up to us how we would like to handle it. And the same things can apply to all of the reports. Obviously, the filters I've been showing you before, they're all available on the reports as well. So if I were to choose, for example, only the opportunities with the discovery stage, I could easily do that by just adding the filter in the report. So I would just click edit once again, and I would go to filters and add the filter that the stage would be discovery. Right, and the report automatically updates. So this is it when it comes to the reporting. This is something that Salesforce does very well, and the same can be said about the dashboards. And the dashboards are actually the combination of different reports with different charts. And we're talking about the perspective of the sales director. From my perspective as a sales director, first thing I would like to see is the general overview of the sales processes. So not only mine as the sales rep, but also the general idea. And the thing is that in this dashboard here, we get the information about the closed business, the pipeline, but also the activities by representatives and the pipeline by representatives. So I can track how my people are working on the things like calling people, mailing them, having meetings, etc. So I can see who is the one who's the most effective, and as well I can see who is delivering the most out of the business opportunities we had in our system. The same can apply to the leaderboards and some sort of gamification of the system. It can be done in a way that people would be getting some sort of prizes for becoming the best leader. This is just the possibility for you to use to have some sort of leaderboard as well. Obviously, some more detailed information about, for example, year-over-year growth or the competitors or the margins. This is all possible to be displayed in Salesforce based on months, revenue mix, etc., etc. Plus the forecasts, obviously, about the pipeline for the upcoming months and how money we can make in the future. And I think the most important thing about the dashboard and the reports is that you can view these reports and add the reports to them easily. And the thing is that you can also subscribe to them. So if I go to the report, for example, my pipeline, I have actually an option to subscribe to it, meaning that every time I'm going to get an email from Salesforce sending me this specific report, for example, every Thursday at 12, I'm going to get this specific report regarding my pipeline to my email, right? And it can be done by anyone who have access to it, right? We can send it to the CEO if he wants to. We can send it to the sales director. You can send it to the sales rep. It doesn't really matter how we want to deal with it, right? So for us, this is possible to do that automatically, and the system is going to send it through the email to the inbox. The last things I wanted to show you, the possibility to manage tasks. Obviously, we have some sort of possibility to look at our tasks also in the form of tables, right? So the overdue tasks are visible in here. The same situation as on the lead level. As you remember, we have different list views. So different lists telling me, okay, these are my open tasks, these are my overdue tasks, and I can easily manage them in the Kanban view as well. So as it was on the opportunity, this is like a common view. I can easily just put some of those to be completed. So I don't have to click on any record manually. I can just do it like this. Or we can obviously schedule some automations so that the tasks can be completed, for example, after the passing of the specific date. And the calendar, of course, we can have the possibility to add different events in here. There is a possibility to link it and to sync it actually with the Gmail or the Outlook. So two of the most prominent inboxes. And obviously there is a possibility to look at the other people calendars. So I can see that Bill West, it has other meetings today, right? So from here, from my calendar, I can see that I have Sales Cloud webinar with some sort of description about that, and the start and the end date. So the similar idea to the tasks with the possibility to have the full day events as well. And it is possible to create the events either from the record level, so as I was showing on the account, Ohana, or you can do it in here if you want, or display the calendars of others. And the last part, which is having the possibility to choose different files stored in the system, right? There are some owned by me, shared with me, or the libraries of files. It can be up to me which files should be stored in the system. They can either be related to the sales or service. It doesn't really matter for us, but we can access them pretty easily by just going to the specific folder, right? So if I go to sales folder, you can see that we can have the strategic account plans or the customer case studies. So this is how it looks inside Salesforce. I know that was pretty long presentation, and we took some more time. But what I wanted to show you as the last thing really would be the connection between the Gmail and the Outlook. So I mentioned that already when we were talking about the calendar, but this is actually my inbox. As you can see, my clouded inbox. And I sent the email to myself just to show you how it can look with the customer. So if someone sends us the information to our inbox, this Salesforce widget on the right-hand side can actually recognize the emails of the people contacting us and tell us that, okay, this is someone that I know. And for example, since I was the one sending the email, what Salesforce did is that it gave me the information that this is actually Mr. Jakub Sierszula. And from here, this looks really similar to the view you'll see on the Salesforce mobile app, right? So this is a similar view with all the information listed. Who am I? What is my phone number? What is the status of the lead? Also the possibility to have the activities, right? So all the actions that were taken for me and the chatter could be shared. It could be used to share an update with the person straight from the inbox, right? So full functionalities. And if I would like to log an email in the system, well, this is pretty straightforward. I just click log, and the system already knows that I would like to match it with Mr. Jakub Sierszula. I can just save it. And then in the system, if I want to, I can just go straight to it. Okay, sorry, this is like a feedback. And if I were to go to the record, I can just open it automatically from my inbox to get the full view. And as you can see, my email, I am interested in one of your products. It was linked with Salesforce. So this is pretty much it, right? Thank you very much for the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions right now, it would be great to ask them. And if there are some areas that I have not explained in detail, since we're running out of time, I think I'm going to answer them right now together with Krzysztof, if you have any. So thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Kuba. That was a very interesting presentation. As always, as you mentioned, we are just a bit out of time, but it was necessary to show the full value of Salesforce. But well, no worries. At this point, I can't see the additional questions. So I think that it will be the best moment to once again thank you very much for joining us today. And yeah, and basically I invite you to follow our LinkedIn, other social media too, to see if we're preparing something more in terms of webinars, in terms of Salesforce platform, because as Kasia said at the very beginning, it's not only about sales B2B, but also many other very important and interesting areas to be addressed by Cloudity and Salesforce within this type of webinar. So thank you very much once again, and well, enjoy your rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.